Welcome to the Museum Archives. I'm Alex Pizzati, I'm the head archivist. We have all the records of the museum's history in here, as well as the field records from its many expeditions around the world, including the material you want to look at, which is Clarence Fisher's excavations in Egypt and Memphis. He worked for over 10 years in Egypt with us, and Memphis, of course, is one of our prize excavations, and the Palace of Morenta. A note about the room: it's the old library of the museum. That's why it's so beautiful. Part of the first wing of the museum that was built in 1899. It stayed the library until 1971, and then it was bursting at the seams. When the academic wing was built, they built a bigger library, and so the archives were brought into this room. And the archives was, in fact, established in 1978. I know that you are here to look at Clarence Fisher's Memphis diaries, and so we can start right away. Please sit down here, and I will bring the material to you. So in this box are Clarence Fisher's diaries. When you take a folder out, you put a marker, mark its place. And please keep everything in order. So Clarence Fisher was actually trained as an architect. In 1898, he got his degree at Penn in architecture, but he never practiced architecture. He ended up immediately being hired for the museum's excavations at Nippur in Mesopotamia, 1899 to 1900, and then later he moved on to working in Egypt, and the museum he became museum curator of the Egyptian section from 1914 to 1924, and conducted excavations in many sites in Egypt and also in Palestine. And these are his diaries. He records every day what's going on in the field, and also problems with workers, if there's malaria or other problems. It's all discussed. There's the context and the records of the archives are really deep.
Was this the place he lived? Or?
And this is, in fact, yeah, it looks like that's the house for the expedition house, and they have a porch and their office and so on. Yeah, they have to take care of all these details. They're not just digging in the field; they're also minding, all the finances and hiring workers and dealing with government officials and so on and so on. So Fisher, he left in 1924 after a disagreement with our director at the time. He eventually moved to Jerusalem and moved to the Middle East altogether, and that's where he died in 1941. But he continued in archaeology. He worked in Palestine for afterwards until, again, the end of his career. Please remember to sign in, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Right there, Thank you. You can sign for both. It's fine. Great. So come over here. We have a spot over here, and I'll bring you the finding aid and then the materials.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, Kevin came by and he photographed a lot of the negatives already, but there's probably others. There's always more.
And they're going to be like this in the gallery to show what the excavation is.
Yeah, I hope they use them. I hope they use them. Yeah, these are kind of faded, but the negatives sometimes are better, and you can bring.
I think we got one of Kevin's. Yeah.
Right, you can bring out, and also from the negatives, the studio can get more out of
The
it.
basket.
All right, the dirt basket, isn't that cool? Yeah.
Not even an archaeological object, just pretty.
Yeah, they would sometimes put those for scale, actually.
Oh.
They include some, look, is that a mop?
Or an axe?
Or an X? Yeah, I
got
can't.
like a
Sorry,
sharp-
I'm using my reading my
I think it has
glasses
a sharp
these days.
point.
There it is. Oh yeah, there it is. Anyway,
A
more
mop on an
photos.
archaeological site.
Well, that's why it seemed pretty funny.
Oh yeah, there it is
actually.
again.
But you know.
And actually, unless this is just the photo, the like fading or the different colors that are weird in the columns.
Yeah.
somehow.
Well, yeah, and this was all exposed. So it's like really worn down up there.
Windy, sandy, salty.
Yeah, so Memphis is really hard to dig because it's below the water table. It's very close to the Nile, and it's all mud.
It explains our salty rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the water damage.
And look, isn't that water? No, is it just?
Yeah,
dirt,
it
or
might
am I
be.
looking
That
at
looks
it?
kind of damp.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God, can you imagine digging like that?
So the
Have you had to dig
sandstone,
in
sandstone and limestone, yeah, that would be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Definitely. It gets soft and salty. Gross.
The Sphinx though is red granite, so that's like.
And we have a couple of the granite pieces.
Yeah, right. Those are nice. The granite column is not from Memphis, though. The Egyptian one. It's from. We had it long before, when the Egyptian wing opened in 1899 here. It was already there. I can't remember. I think it's a Petrie find as well.
Oh,
Because anyway, long story about Petrie. Give me a second.
no rush. That's perfect. This will be great.
Here this time. And everything's going okay over here.
Those are the individual objects?
Yeah, that's what they're looking at over here, but we have to move that stuff, so, and
That's
yeah,
okay. We'll
very
get back to
awkward. I know that you're not gonna say anything, so I just swiped it. Excuse me. I wouldn't normally do this, I guess.
I mean,
I'll just put this over here. And then let's look at those drawings.
perfect. I'm excited. I've heard a lot about these.
I think this is the right folder.
Okay.
And so,
Remind me of the background of these, Alex.
well, Clarence Fisher, actually, who dug in Memphis, he was an architect by training. He got his degree at Penn in 1898. And
Explains the grid paper.
and yes, so his drawings, his architectural drawings are really great. Yeah, you can just flip it as if it were bound. Yep. They're not all in sleeves. We have been, over time, encapsulating the more fragile ones.
And different fragments are picked out.
Yeah.
He like drew all of them. Oh, that looks familiar. Sure.
Yeah.
Our architectural gilding that we're so proud
Yeah,
of.
no, it sounds great when you, I'd love to see the final product.
Yeah, you should come out to the warehouse
Oh, well, I mean,
in all of your
you
free
gotta give
time.
me a ride or something.
Hey, we can do that. We can
Okay,
easily
maybe
set that up.
someday. Excellent, I'm
Thank
glad
you very
you found the stuff you wanted. It's
Yeah.
really cool, it's always good when that happens. And,
And we'll have to be back and we'll ask you about the digitized versions of all of these
right,
things.
and there's always more other questions, so, whenever you want, just come back. And,
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
There's so much cool stuff in here.
Yeah, I know, all the old furniture and things and people's artifacts. We have a Victrola up there. That actually did not belong to the museum, but the reason we have it is the founder of the Victor Talking Machine Company, later RCA Victor, was in Camden, New Jersey, and is a big donor to the museum, Eldridge Reeves Johnson.
What?
Nobody knows who the guy is, but he invented pretty much he made records commercially viable.
Thanks so much for your
Oh yeah, pleasure, anytime, really. Come back.